We found last time out
Red
here
clover?
that, remember some of this wasn't even stingy anymore? Remember that? Like right now, I don't feel any stinginess.
So maybe the young one too.
Yeah,
Nettle?
a very young one.
Yeah, the young ones, there's not going to be as much sting. It's actually, when we look over at there, once the seeds start forming on there,
Yeah.
that's when they're more stingy. I also wanted you to just look at how big, because the soil's different here and the moisture, that how big some of the plantain gets. So you can actually cook the plantain like kale as well.
So, Linda, you know how you blanch the nettle?
Yep.
Before you eat it? But it smells so good. Shouldn't you drink the water from the blanch?
So in the summer, you're going to see the purple round flowers. They're purplish red. They're not the bright red. Anybody from Oregon? Did you ever see some of the fields they had? It was called crimson clover. That was more like the red, bright red of your pants compared to the purplish red of the red clover that we use medicinally.
Okay.
That's a natural blood purifier. I add it. That's the one that I mix with burdock root for cleansing, for detox, and would be good for eczema. Let's see, red clover, yes. And it also has natural phytoestrogens, especially out of Australia. I believe there's a company that puts it in some tablets to help with as a natural phytoestrogen. What do you smell there, buddy? You know, there's probably a rabbit here that we don't quite know about, right? And so the red clover, I just gather the blossoms when the time comes. We don't use the
You don't use the
as much
But
as,
is this the determining factor if it's a red clover? Is that white in there versus the clover that's all green?
So we're
versus
looking for the
white
white.
clover.
Yeah, I guess the white clover.
We're looking for the
It's
white
a
on the
purplish
leaves.
red, and if you look on, so one of the things I'm going to encourage you to do, because we're a little early in the season and we don't see all the flowers out, is to go, if you Google red clover flower, then you'll see, and if you need to put in the botanical name, you can, to see what it looks like later in the year, and that's what we're using, is the flowers. You don't want to come? Thank you. I have to say thank you. This is, see if it's on here, Speedwell. So this is one of those, it's a diuretic. You can make a tea for diuretic and anti-mucous properties as well, so it could be used for respiratory or if you have sinus allergies. And one of the ways to identify it is by the heart-shaped fruit, so I'll pass it around. Oh, I didn't show you shepherd's purse on the other side.
Oh, shepherd's purse.
Shepherd's
Heard
purse.
of that.
We'll see that. Did we? Oh, you'll see.
It's a Speedwell.
Yeah, these little heart-shaped, what they call fruit.
I have a question.
There you go.
No
problem.
Signature here, but this is going to get a stem with purple flowers on it, Prenela Vulgaris or self-heal. It's just another one of those that you know that you can use the leaves on your bug bites.
Oh,
So you might want to
Great.
try, you can experiment with the self-heal or with the plantain to see what works. You remember this has the stem with the whorls, the purple whorls. It's usually over there as well. Self-heal, or some people call it heal all,
Heal
or
all.
Prunella. It's Prenela Vulgaris.
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
It looks like a, it kind of looks like a mint
flowers?
when it grows.
Yeah, it has purple flowers. In,
Yeah, it
in
kinda
little
does.
I don't think
whorls
it's a
along
mint.
the stem.
It just looks like it when it grows, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh, I was saying I thought it looked kind of like a mint, a wild mint when it grows. The
When-
stem and flower.
Did you say a salmon colored flower?
No, the stem and flower look like a mint, like when they grow.
Right now, it's
There's a
right
critter
now
around
we just have the leaves here. It's possible. I usually see it growing on the creek. It might be early.
Mint plants love water,
What that self-heal was. I've never
so they
heard
usually
of that.
grow close to water, always wet.
I use mostly the flower essence. Ball flower.
Nettles.
What's the ball flower? The white one. The white one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a water leaf?
Yeah, water This here looks
So
like
that's self-heal.
St. John's wort.
Okay. Self-heal again.
So it's an oval we're making,
Yarrow.
and I scratched my arm on a piece of the fence, and so I immediately gathered this and reminded them about how their aunties may have used it. You want some burdock? I did
Burdock?
see some coming up in my yard, and you're welcome to dig it out and take it. 'Cause I've dug it over the years and thought it was gone, but there was some. So the white leaf underneath is the signature, one of the signatures for the burdock. Remember, there's going to be a tall stem that has the birds on it.
Yeah, the bird.
And let go of the
Birds and the light.
It's okay.
Did he have some kind of thistle on this place?
We have those close too.
There's many different species of hawthorne.
Oh, that's
This
good.
is hawthorn berry.
Them.
Wow.
The kind of one of the signatures is the trunk. You know, the way they have their oak-like leaves. I mean, the white one is usually what I gather, the English hawthorn. But this is the pink hawthorn. They have similar, so this would be the leaves and the flowers, and then the usually this particular one does not have the thorns on it as much as the white one. The white does.
They do look like those.
Yeah, pink hawthorn. And actually, someone asked me recently, so because I've always just used the white myself. Yeah, Protegus, but then it's I forget what the second part of it was. Something. Anyways, I had someone recently, so I did some research that said, oh yeah, that they're interchangeable. The pink and the pink and the white hawthorn flowers are interchangeable for use, and you can make a tea with them. It's heart healthy. If you're taking heart medication, please check with your doctor first. Of course, I have to say that.
Awesome.
They probably would not know
Is that what she's saying? You can eat the whole thing, huh?
what to do, but let's see, what do I
Alright.
actually use it for our
Maybe just fruits.
our
I believe it's
Heart
the
Bio
fruits,
Center.
yeah.
Our Heart Bioenergy Center, which is in
I was
the
gonna
Heart
ask
area.
her when the
That
berries
helps us
bud.
with unconditional love for ourselves and others. So especially if there's been heart wounds, brokenheartedness, that kind of thing, drinking a tea with the leaves and the flowers. I would start with even like a quarter teaspoon, so a very small amount, especially for children. Someone the other day shared about how their teenager had a breakup in a certain process. You're not getting the biological components of the plant. It's more what's called the essence of the plant. Or like when I say something, this is for the psychological or spiritual use. So this would be for keeping the heart open, so it helps us when we've closed our heart, when we've hardened our heart, and need to perhaps open up to the joy. So even if we look at the flowers, one of my friends had this in her backyard, and I said, oh, that looks like the hair of Sideshow Bob once in The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Smile and that had this
Yep.
hair. And so it's kind of this, that was the joke, that let's go sit under the tree that looks like Sideshow, say that 3 times, Sideshow Bob's hair. A hard pit, most of it
that's what I was gonna ask
actually
about was the
is a
berries.
pit, not fruit. But you can nibble on the fruit as well. One of the first ways I used to learn to use hawthorn berries, and actually that's what got me into, I have Idaho Herbs Company focuses more on the medicinal properties, but I've also had a company called Spirit Herbs, which focus more on the psychological and spiritual properties of the herbs, because that's as an empath and sensitive person, like that's what I tuned into. And so even something like drying the berries and having them in a velvet pouch around my neck when I was going through a divorce many years ago. That, you know, that's,
Interesting.
that helped me to keep my heart open to life, even though I was going through a painful situation. And so a lot of the herbs, and if there's not time to talk about these things before I go, once I settle in New Hampshire, I will be doing some more herbal videos, and I'll have time to get down some of the writings so that I can share some
Awesome.
of my experiences working with the psycho-spiritual properties of the herbs for this kind of emotional support for people. But yes, let's go back to where we began. We've kind of made a kind of figure 8 or circle in some and so let's just again, we'll just say thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for the plants, for teaching us and showing us the way. And I'd just like you to just pause for a moment and bring your awareness inside your skin, inside your body, and just see if there's a plant that touched your heart today. If there was something about the plants that touched your heart today. And instead of your mind choosing, maybe just kind of let your body or your heart choose as well. So just kind of think about everything we saw and walk, but just see if there was one that made you feel happier.
What made you happy? The beginning, and at the end it was the Hawthorne. That's what I heard about the heart.
Right.
Healing heart wounds. And the scent that comes off the linden in the early spring that you shared about, that I didn't realize that's what I was smelling.
For me, it was everything because it's like when you get down and you look at them and just like about the benefits, and it's just like it's so rich, and I'm just feeling grateful for it. But what touched me the most, but I can't remember the name. It was by the bridge, the delicate white flowers. And it's all, the whole plant was edible. Which one was that?
Chickweed.
Chickweed.
Yeah, chickweed.
Chickweed.
Tastes like beets.
Over there?
Yes.
The one that tastes like beets.
Yes, I love it.
Tastes like the smell of beets or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it still has that very earthy, gritty
I
taste,
just
though.
want to pick up the whole thing and bring it home, but that would be too greedy.
It's really hard to get out of my head, but I think the St. John's wort made me really happy because I've never seen her, she, they, him, and in the wild like this, and to learn about the leaf, and just to think about the sky and the stars, and it was just so, for me, it was a real opening, so that was joyful. Thank you.
Sorry, bro.
Anything for you today?
Well, I thought it was interesting that the equium may have nicotine in it, so I might go explore some of that. And
Right.
maybe try. I didn't know that Lewis and Clark used the dogwood as a
Yeah.
tobacco alternative. So
Oh, I
played
forgot
around
about
with
that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did a different plant have nicotine in it?
Yeah, that little equium, horse equium,
The horsetail.
horsetail.
Oh, it has nicotine in it, and that's one reason why the horses can get really sick with it.
Oh, yeah.
Something controversial, I know then. Thank you.
Yeah.
Horsetail. For me, I think it was when I brought up dandelion root again. That one just, I've used that over the years as supplementation and just teas and cleansing and things like that. And I've seen this plant specifically grow up everywhere in my area, prominently, everywhere in like every park, things like that. Just in my area alone, I'm like, when I keep hearing about dandelion root or dandelion weed, like I want to make sure I'm digging up the right one to get the medicinal properties for that root. that real grounding tea, that grounding herb per se. And I know that it helps. It's literally food for the liver. A lot of people that don't drink coffee use it as a coffee replacement in general because it's such a dark roast even. You know, it's just, and the cleansing effect I think is the biggest thing with the antioxidants for the liver and just taking care of the liver. And then lastly, hawthorn. I'm big on the berries. I've actually soaked the actual berries before and drank it in a tea. Very bitter. Tinctures and supplements I've taken over the years too, using hawthorn berry for just maintenance for myself, and just having good cardiovascular health. That's a big one, and it's just nice to know that there's another species here in the state of Idaho that is similar to like the actual hawthorn species, especially with what Dr. Christopher's talked about.
Yeah, I would still look for the white ones first, but
The
that's
white
just
ones?
because of my experience.
Okay. Look for the white ones. But you can, I was going to ask, I forgot to ask you there, but when do the berries bloom on that specific
Well,
tree?
so the berries are going to be here sometime probably late September, October.
And is that more medicinal to use versus just using the flowers and the
Yes,
stems?
the berries are stronger than the leaves
Okay.
and the flower.
Okay,
on
and
the
you can
hawthorn.
eat that as well if you choose to. I know it's very bitter berry, but
And you get just a tiny little bit because
Okay.
that seed is so big in there,
okay,
right? The tincture is probably the best, the most palatable,
okay.
is the tincture of the berries.
The best route to go. Okay.
And I think for me, as Viera said, it was my first time doing this type of like walk and just learning about edible plants and medicinal plants. It's been great. And I think I can't remember the name of one of it, but the one that you talk about, like it help you with overwhelming
Nettles.
Yeah,
Nettles,
that one, I think.
Nettles.
Yeah, because I think that I can relate to that feeling. So I think I was really impressed that a plant can help you like to deal with those type of feelings. And then the last one, the hawthorn, as well with the heart, and the heart health overall. The most important, I think.
The nettle, we have the nettles in our tea that helps us strengthen our adrenals. It's going to help us with the overwhelm, but then also it's high in minerals. And nettles is just a favorite European herb. For me today, it was interesting. It was knowing that the yellow pea was dangerous because we see the pink pea and there's lots of, and it's pretty, and so it was like, but when I saw it the other day, I'm like, what is this? And it's just like toxic.
Wow.
So it is good to know. I mean, I'm still learning after really 40 years since I probably did my first herb walk
Wow.
in Southern California. And so it's always good to now we have the internet, right, to teach us as well. So thank you all for being here, and we'll just say thank you to Mr. Robinson, who years ago set this place aside as a park so that we can enjoy it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Linda.
And I'm glad it was